Hey guys, today I'm Marine here with another MOS profile. Today talking about 5711s. These guys are the chemical experts. Stab in there. My browser closed on its own for some reason. These guys are the chemical experts for the Marine Corps. They're the ones that know how to survive and operate in a chemically or biologically compromised environment. They are the ones who train other people in this stuff on how to survive this. They're the ones that get in and detect exactly what chemical or biological agent that it is. They know how to decontaminate people and equipment of this stuff, and they basically can provide first aid to people that get afflicted by this stuff if they're savable. It really depends on what it is. Some of this stuff is fucking nasty. Some of the stuff that people have developed that could possibly be used against you is no good. Absolutely no good. I won't go into it. If you guys want to look it up, obviously you're more than welcome to. Just type in nerve agents, biological agents, just chemical stuff, and you'll be able to see how horrible it would be to die to some of this stuff. But basically, these guys go around in their mop suits, is what they call them, and they're basically the big suits with the masks, everything that you see people wear when they don't want to get exposed at all to anything that's in the air. It's a tough job. I mean, you got to have a GT score of 110 or higher, which is decently high. The school is in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. It's at the Army base over there. It's where the Army guys train for this as well. You have to be able to get a secret security clearance. You must not have any known hypersensitivity to the wearing of protective clothing or immunizations. You can't have any respiratory problems at all that prohibit you from wearing a mask, basically the gas mask that you'll wear. Because for this job, you'll be wearing it for hours, if not days on end. And you have to be able to do that. It's uncomfortable. No one likes doing it, but you have to be able to not die if you're in one of these situations. These guys were very prevalent and very, very busy when the war first started. A buddy of mine that I work with was in the Army, and this was his job. He was in there. He crossed the border back in 2003 when our guys initially made the push into Iraq, and his guys were in full mop except for their masks all day, every day for a good while. And they could all have their masks on and cleared and breathable and within 5 seconds. And that's just what they had to do. And these guys went around. They looked for any sign of chemical weapons. They were constantly ready. When the Scud missiles would go over, there was the fear that in those missiles that there's going to be chemical weapons in them. And so whenever a Scud missile would go over or they get the warning, that something launched, they had to have their gear on. They had to have their mask on, ready to go, because who knows what could be in it. Like in World War I, for instance, the Germans used mustard gas on American forces and on the other Allied forces, and that stuff is bad, very, very bad. The good thing about mustard gas is that you can see it. They call it mustard gas because it has a yellowy color to it when it's in the air. And there's a story of Marines that were fighting. I can't remember where exactly, what battle this was, but the Marines are fighting. They get the word somebody noticed the yellow gas, and so they call down gas, 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 and everybody got their gear on, got their masks on, and this gunnery sergeant with one of the infantry units was running along, and he noticed one of his Marines, because they were basically assaulting forward, is what they were doing, and he noticed one of his privates was freaking out, losing his mind because he couldn't find his mask. Couldn't find it. and the kid knew that he was dead. That mustard gas went near you, or if you breathed it in, basically, let it touch your skin. The skin wasn't as big of a deal for mustard gas. It's more you have to breathe it in. But either way, he knew if he breathed that stuff in, he was dead. There's no way around it. You're going to die. And even just one breath. You're running along, you're breathing heavy, and you're not paying attention, that stuff hits you, and you don't have your mask on. One breath, and you're dead. And that's all it takes to damage your lungs enough to kill you. And so this kid's freaking out. He's probably 18, 19, and he knows he's fucked. This gunnery sergeant grabs him, calms him down, gets his attention, takes off his own mask, and gives it to the Marine. Gives it to that private so that private could live. And the gunnery sergeant died because of that. But that it goes to show you how, one, fucking why I love Marines, but two, that this gas is serious business, and you need to be prepared at all times. And these guys here, the cool thing is they're experts in this, and another main benefit is that there are jobs you can get outside of the military with this. Knowing how to work well with chemicals, I guarantee there's police that specialize in this sort of stuff, and so I'd be willing to bet that you'd be able to walk onto a police force if you do well in this MOS. The shitty thing about most chemical weapon environments is that you can be in your full MOP gear, you can have your mask on, whatever, but if there's a chemical or biological agent in the air and you're fighting and you get shot or you tear your suit, then you're fucked, basically. Because their chances are they're not going to medevac you out. And which, just like what they said, and if you've seen Generation Kill, the lieutenant tells them that. And they ask him, they're like, so sir, what happens if we get shot with this stuff on in a chemical environment? And he goes, nothing. There's nothing they can do. They will not medevac you, because they're not going to risk a bird getting contaminated, the crew in that bird getting contaminated, and then bringing that back to somewhere that's doesn't have the chemical. And so basically you're fucked. And chances are whatever the chemical is will kill you anyway, but you're fucked. So this job is not for the weak of heart. You need to really want to do it. I heard the training is pretty intense. They'll expose you to quite a bit of stuff. And you'll have your gear on. There's really no risk to you if you do everything correctly, but if you fuck it up and you're stupid, then you can get seriously hurt doing this job or dead. So just be aware of that. All right, guys. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, hit me up, and I will see you later. Semper Fi.